Hey,
Peter.
did you miss me? Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up. Ride him, cowboy. Oh, I forgot. You're broken. I don't want to play with you anymore.
Okay, I should probably explain myself. I don't like to toot my own horn, but I have put myself through some of the hardest Miles Morales challenges anyone has ever done. Actually, I don't think that's something to be proud of. That's like bragging about how rad your waterboarding session was last night. Back on topic. So I was looking for something different, something harder. Maybe use my feet? No, that's been used in other games. Plus, I kinda don't want a wiki feet page like anytime this millennia, so definite no. But then, like a controller getting smashed across my face, it hit me. Because that's exactly what I did. I realized that I could use my nose. So the rules are that I'm allowed to hold my controller in any way that I want, but buttons can only be ever pressed by my nose. That includes the thumbsticks. Also, for a little extra spice, I will not be allowed to use upgrades. And also, I will be playing with permadeath, meaning that if I die, my save will be deleted and I will have to restart from the beginning. Mission fails are fine, just no deaths. You get all that? That was a lot of talking. Honestly, I've forgotten most of it. But anyways, let's continue. So the game finally starts and I hit my first roadblock. Actually playing the game, more specifically swinging. You usually use one finger to hold down the swing button and another to change direction. Needless to say, last time I checked in the mirror, I didn't have two noses. So yeah, that's kind of off the table. I did get the hang of it a little bit, but I could only go straight, which yeah, not very useful. I would give drowning a solid 3 out of 10. I tried looking for answers online, but surprisingly there was nothing. Apparently nobody else is playing the game with their nose. Who knew? Being serious, I had a trick up my sleeve, or rather up my nostril. I didn't pass high school, I don't know how metaphors work. Anyways, it's all in the accessibility tab. This is the only way that this challenge would be even remotely possible. There are a bunch of small options that slightly modify the game, but the only one that matters, for now, is swing/parkour mode. With this toggled on, swinging and running will be automatically held down, letting my nose change directions.
Helping Spider-Man protect the giant prison convoy? You can handle this.
What? You can handle this? You can barely walk in a straight line. You know what? You couldn't even handle a sobriety test right now, let alone save the city. I somehow met up with Peter for a convoy, and I finally got back to basking in the greatness of cutscenes. Oh my god, I can't remember the last time I've just been able to do nothing. Okay, that was a lie. I'm a YouTuber. Doing nothing is literally my job. Anyways, I wasn't paying attention. What's happening in the game? Oh, plane accident. Right, yeah, that'll just buff out. I'm really trying to lighten the mood, but death is a real party killer. Oh, death? Party killer? I did that on accident. Then there was more fighting, and honestly, not too bad. I didn't even have to fidget with any of the settings, and also, I barely took any damage. Or at least I think I did. I'm not really sure. I can't really see anything when my eyes are forced into a controller. Yeah, that's not a joke. Half of the challenge here is actually trying to see. The other half is acne problems because, my god, there's no way that this is healthy for my skincare routine. Or my mental health, but I already know that's in the gutter. We then had to chase down Rhino, and I hit another roadblock. No, not chasing around Rhino. It was this. The tutorial. Look, it wants me to press R2 and L2 at the same time. Now, I had two options here. First, I could grow another nose through radiation poisoning, or I could look through the options for more little settings. Now just guess what I went with. Exactly. No, I looked through the options and got several good leads, toggled down the aim button and some other stuff, but no matter what, it didn't work. So I had to enlist some help. Mom, could I, this may sound a little weird, but could you put your nose down onto this button? No, and then I need to put my nose on the other one.
Okay.
You have to push it down.
Hey!
Okay, I know this is kind of bending the rules a little bit, but come on, were you expecting straight stuff from this channel? Being serious, I will not be counting any of the tutorials or even mentioning from here on out. With that out of the way, it was into Rhino. God, sorry, slip up. I meant onto Rhino. I've been reading too many fanfics. Anyways, comparatively, this wasn't hard, like, at all. Sure, my first attempt ended with Rhino going on a rampage and coffin prices just spiking, but after one attempt, I got it down pat. Surprisingly, riding Rhino around was pretty easy. It was actually easier than controlling Maya. Baby. Oh. It's asking for 2 button presses at once. Well, I could either save this baby's life, or I could fail the challenge. Do I have to say what I chose? Moving on from that and never talking about it again, bada bing, bada boom, boss fight time. It all starts with Rhino breaking a hella ton of Peter's skeleton. Yeah, he'll need a wheelchair. But being serious, fighting was super easy and basically just required me to make out with my controller. I've done a lot weirder, so whatever. You'd think that venom punching would be my downfall after all 2 button presses, but I was able to bound the venom punch to a shortcut, so it only takes 1 button press, and bam, lots of head trauma. For both Rhino, Miles, and me. We got to talk to Peter, and he said that he was heading off to somewhere to do something with someone. Honestly, if I'm being real, you might not believe this, but I wasn't really listening. We got a new suit, and then it was time for more fighting. There was a whole little training section, but I'll just sum up what I learned. Bullets hurt, pressing square repeatedly is a valid strategy, and this challenge is surprisingly very stupid. And the fact that I'm only realizing that now means that I am as well. We then had to watch this guy, and honestly, what a narcissist. I mean, what kind of freak would want their face plastered on as many screens as possible? Oh wait, that kind. I made love to a trash can, and honestly, what else is there to say? You want to hear about my technique? Yeah, I'm pretty sure the nose speaks for itself. Thank you. I was just kind of aiming for button mashing. We got home for Christmas dinner, and I got to learn so much about Miles, his home life, his family traditions, and what his insides look like. I'm really starting to feel like a part of the family. Mainly like an uncle with the whole insides bit, but I'll take it. Dinner was mostly fine, and Miles's friend, Finn, came over. I will not be making fun of her because I am a respectable gentleman. Plus, I kinda ran out of jokes in my other videos. Then the power went out, and coincidentally, so did my dreams. I was forced to use my fingers for the first time. This wasn't a tutorial section, so that's why I'm counting it. Have you ever had that feeling where you realize what you're doing is a massive waste of time, but you've already put too much effort into it to actually just stop? Yeah, me neither. That was just some food for thought. And a cry for help. Next up was a pretty normal family dinner. Small talk, sexual tension, and mom going on a political rant. Christmas. We then got a small taste of first-person Spider-Man, and oh my god, give it to me now. I really want to feel immersed when I'm running face first into traffic.
I'm Spider-Man, by the way.
No, really? I thought you were just some homeless guy parkouring over buildings. Actually, we are in New York, so that's pretty plausible. We took a task from our uncle, and our new powers give Miles a lot of new job opportunities. You know, like electrician, human lightning rod, and electric chair. That would work, right? Just sit on his lap. Okay, I now realize that I've been left alone with my own thoughts for too long, and I'm starting to get scared. Yeah, this job was just a lot of fighting. Me fighting the urge to end it all. Yes, but also normal fighting. There was some crap about trains, I don't know, and I should probably explain shortcuts better. They essentially let me bind any action to a simple button press. Now web zips and punching are actually possible. God, now with the boring settings out of the way, I can finally go back to gnawing my nose away. Fun. Hey Miles, I don't want to rush you, but the underground planted some bombs, and if you could just stop doing whatever you're doing. No? Oh, okay, that's fine. Just wait a second. Let me invest in some wheelchair companies. After taking care of the trains, it was time for Miles's mom's rally, and Okay, I'm gonna say it. I'm in pain. Oh, all of you don't look so shocked. It's why you clicked on this video in the first place, you masochists. This fight was intense not only because of the enemies, but also because I was fighting myself. No, I don't mean in any deep psychological way, but rather Miles was just sticking to everything. There was a massive explosion, and I already knew that it was time to clock in and clock out some thugs. Or in layman's terms, I was going to lay men into their graves. What are we talking about? Right, people turning into paint with explosions. I went to check it out, but one thing led to another and I got fisted. The amount of times I've had to say that sentence. So we try to stop the fight, but only make it 10 times worse. Of course, all the blame is placed on me. You create one makeshift nuke and everybody loses their minds. Like literally, the explosion definitely popped some skulls. This fight was normal, or as normal as can be with your nose. But besides that, I found out one really cool thing. I could use finishers by smashing my face blindly and hitting the circle and triangle button at the same time. Wow, now I'm able to use finishers. Get ready, because at this rate I'll be able to walk straight by the time the game ends. Yes, Miles, I am aware that there is fire, mainly because I am currently being burned alive. The bridge then completely collapsed, but thankfully everybody was able to run to safety. But what if you were unconscious, or literally taped to it with highly sticky webs? They would have been long gone then, right? Because they couldn't run away. Luckily, no madman would go out of their way to, oh my god, I'm gonna be mentioned in a lot of obituaries.
Are you okay?
Boy, my mom is in the hospital, my best friend just turned out to be a murderer, and coincidentally so did I with the whole bridge thing, but other than that, I'm good. All good. After going through that, we made a brand spanking new suit. It's lighter, sleeker, and so fast that we'll be outrunning my PS4. That last one is not a joke. I know New York is filled with garbage, but the buildings aren't supposed to be made out of it. We needed to get some info on Tinkerer, and we could have just talked to Finn, but what is this? Who do you think I am? No, I avoided human contact at all costs and decided that spying would be my best bet.
Finn and I spent a whole summer helping Rick repair old guitars. There wasn't anything he couldn't fix.
Except his bone marrow. Yes, I did that noise with my mouth. I'm on a very low budget. We then learned that Finn's brother died due to Roxxon, and now she is out for revenge. You know, when most people get upset with a company, they just post a bad review on Yelp. But, you know, murdering works as well. We then learned of a secret Roxxon base that we need to go to. There were a bunch of security measures and lasers, but thankfully we were in the clear, because little known fact, I have a lot of experience with this stuff. My high school nickname was the Disabler. Or the Disabled, I can never remember, but it's something along those lines.
Remember what I said. Don't get caught.
Oh, okay, thanks. That was extremely vital advice. You just told it about one fist in this guy's face too late. We got details on Rick's death, and Miles thought it looked fun. So he copied it. So if your friends jumped into a nuclear reactor, you would too. Yes.
Engaging Spider-Man!
Oh my god, I'm so flattered. But unfortunately, I'm afraid I'm a teensy bit too young for marriage. So I finished up Roxxon's base with Uncle, and I kinda had to take a break. Being serious, I wasn't feeling the best mentally. I wonder why. But 3 days later, I came back stronger than ever and with a new shirt. What, I skipped my English class on how character development works. Just changing clothes does the job, right? Anyways, after looking deeply into my soul and what makes me, I killed myself. Accidentally. That's not a joke. First 5 seconds of getting back into it, I don't know how, but that happened. I don't even think I could have staged that even if I tried.
Hey, the Underground and Roxxon are fighting near innocent people.
Well, I have a coffee date to catch, so I'll see those guys latte. Get it, like later, latte? Just tell me where their funerals will be held, I'll swing by. The date with Finn went surprisingly well, and she wanted to take it to the next step. Of a building. She wanted me to step off a building. We got into the Underground's lair, which actually isn't underground, it's 50 stories up. I think I'm gonna have a panic attack again.
Ask me, should be focusing on PR.
It's so funny to think that a terrorist movement has a PR department. Hey man, I know we're about to crash this plane into a building, but if you make one more joke about my weight, I will report you to PR. I witnessed what I think most people would call God, and then more sneaking. Or, okay, a petty attempt at sneaking before going balls to the wall fighting. The fighting was hard, but I found out that letting enemies come to me made it a lot easier. Unless they had guns, then they wouldn't come to me, they would just shoot me. I learned that the hard way. Like the bullet that went through my head, yeah, it was a little hard. I finished it up, and then we had more fighting. And while I'm still just button mashing, I was sure to save my finishers on really tough enemies, like the sword guys. Oh, okay, I have some good news, and just a teeny weeny little bit of bad news. The bad news is, well, that the lack of your left leg kind of speaks for itself, and the good news is, I've heard some pretty cool stuff about Obamacare. If that's even still a thing anymore, you should try it out.
Prime for smashing.
Oh, where have I heard that saying before? Right, my uncle on my 10th birthday. There was some puzzles which were hard because, well, does this look like the face of a genius? Exactly. Everything before hadn't been exactly easy, but it was still bearable. Yeah, this guy changes all of that. Since I can't really use any strategies, I just need to completely focus on him and just throw everything at him, which is a little hard when he can counter almost all of my attacks. If I was ever the most scared of dying, it was right here. Usually I would be fine with being put out of my misery, but I don't think my nose could take another run from the beginning. I swear I'm gonna walk out of this thing like Voldemort with a slight tan. It was then time to chase Finn, and this was tricky. It wasn't a matter of experience. I can't count the amount of times I've chased one of my crushes. It was instead that once Miles sticks to a building, he's kinda screwed. So with just keeping that in mind, the chase went surprisingly okay. If by okay, I meant almost getting chopped in half. Yeah, not very good. A bunch of boring stuff happened, well, as boring as being kidnapped can be, and I've been through it all before. But I gotta say, it was kind of interesting being the one getting kidnapped for once. Don't look too deeply into that line. Or my basement. Quickly changing the topic, I found a way to escape, because if the US has taught me anything, it's that any conflict can be quickly ended with nukes. Thankfully, this is quite useful if you are the nuke. I then had to open up a door, and I was forced to use my fingers. For all the other doors and stuff, I was able to use shortcuts, like I've said, but crawling sections like this are the exception, so add 1 to the counter. Actually, why am I telling you this? None of you are gonna try this at home. I can lie as much as I want right now, and none of you would even try it. So, yeah, the game just glitched and spawned me into the last boss fight. Oh, must only happen if you use your nose. There were a bunch of sneak sections, or at least what I thought were sneak sections. I don't know. I've started to inhale a little bit of the plastic, and now the only thing I can remember is blue. Then it was boss fight time, and it was hard. Yeah, I haven't died once yet for this entire run, but this honestly might change that. Rhino doesn't hit particularly hard or anything, but rather it's just that the tasks needed to actually take him down are really complex for just my nose. And also my feeble brain. For example, first I have to venom punch this engine, then wait for Rhino to stop throwing stuff, then throw the explosive at him, and do all of that without getting hit. Yeah, that's pretty much impossible when you can't even look at the screen. Regardless, I somehow got him down. Anyways, we came out to our mom and she was really supportive. Well, kinda.
You could have died.
Oh no, really? That thought never occurred to me while I was getting ripped in half by a 50-ton furry. I did a little bit of swinging and then this happened. Ugh. Don't ask where the laser went. Let's just say that I won't be walking straight anytime soon. And of course it was Uncle. Look, I'm trying to avoid Uncle jokes because I overdo it, but he just keeps on coming, even if I don't want it. God, I did it again. Honestly, our uncle isn't that bad of a guy. Sure, he imprisoned me, but he's trying to save me. Yeah, stop me from fighting by putting me in this cell. What? No, what? Stockholm Syndrome? No, this game is set in America, not Sweden. Stop interrupting me. Okay, weird, unnecessary comments aside, our uncle is a good guy. I mean, he will murder me in cold blood if I slip up, but Yeah, okay, there aren't that many redeeming qualities about murder. This whole fight was all about reaction times, and surprisingly, I was able to keep up. Yeah, I'm just as shocked as you are. This fight was a piece of cake. There was more sneaking. Okay, that was a complete lie. That would be like me saying that this guy will be able to walk again tomorrow. Or ever. Then there was more puzzles. I tried solving it, but I just got stuck. I've been so busy using my nose that I didn't even bother using my eyes. This is a really elegant way of saying that I messed it up because I'm stupid and the answer was right in front of me.
Come on, molasses!
Oh, why do you keep on calling me slow? Is it because of my rendering? My rendering is slow? Well, screw you. PS5s are hard to find. Plus, oh my... did somebody just throw a flashbang? Oh, wait, that was just the rendering. Okay, yeah, maybe you do have a point.
I'm not gonna vanish off the planet. We'll still hang out.
Yeah, you know, or try to murder each other with you becoming a supervillain. But if I bring my noose around, you could technically still hang out with me. Jesus, that was dark. Okay, let's not joke about death. Just bring it to more people. Hey, I realized that all the bad guys in these games are always big companies. Roxxon, Oscorp. Well, not all conglomerates are evil. You think this will help me get on the trending page? Just suck up to Google? Yeah, I'll keep it up. It was then time for the blizzard fight, and I was practically in my element. No, not getting shot at, even though that has happened surprisingly a lot. I mean, not seeing anything. Seriously, I was worried about dying here because I don't know about you, but I've never been in a war before. I know, shocking, right? Look at my arms. But seriously, there are people all over the place. My health got pretty low sometimes, but just spamming the health button was my best friend. Then it was time for the final boss fight, and considering my previous experience with the Tinker was traumatic to say the very least, I was starting to get worried. After all, if I die here, I went all the way back. God, that's new. I just said I didn't want to die. So it took a lot of strategy. Okay, I won't lie to you. It was more button mashing, except this time I was also making sure to press the dodge button. I'm being serious. That was like the only strategizing I could do with my nose. That being said, I did start to get really worried because this boss goes through more phases than a teen going through an identity crisis. Really, this fight was just about convincing Finn that violence wasn't the answer. And how do we do that? Right, by pummeling it into her one punch at a time. And then it all just clicked. Oh no, not like some big revelation or realization. It was her spine. Yeah, it clicked, it broke. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, because if you didn't, you've watched all the way to a video that you didn't like, and I wish I could give you your time back. But anyways, I'll see you next week, and give me your firstborn.